Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this year's Veterans Day Assembly. At this point, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise as the Rindge Veterans Association Color Guard presents the colors. Okay, thank you for bearing with us in this Zoom world while we get everything set. And a huge thank you to the Color Guard for being here today. I want to say on behalf of our school, thank you to you for your service and thank you for being here today as we honor and celebrate Veterans Day. Each year, our country sets aside one day, November 11th, and I am going to remove my mask in the honor of being able to speak clearly. Each year, our country sets aside one day, November 11th, to celebrate those who have chosen to serve our country. This date was not always put aside for the collective celebration of military service to our nation. In fact, November 11th was originally called Armistice Day and was an acknowledgement and celebration of the armistice that effectively ended the fighting in the world's first global conflict, World War I. Over time, as those types of conflicts have been occasionally repeated, and America's service members have been called to action many times since, the celebration has broadened into an acknowledgement of thanks to those courageous few who choose to stand in defense of our nation. This is a vital remembrance to keep this year and every year. This year, Veterans Day takes on perhaps a renewed meaning. And the collective challenges our country faces, with a pandemic challenging our normal course of life and some difficult and deep political disagreements threatening some of our political unity, what our veterans stand for and symbolize is more important than ever. It is in difficult times that we must remember that the United States stands now as it did over 240 years ago because we are a nation of people who persist and we are a nation who are resilient. Resilience is the trait that has allowed our country to stand against Great Britain and claim the mantle of our own leadership. Resilience is what ensured our country would survive united after the Civil War threatened to tear us into two. And when recession and depression have struck, America's resilience has pulled us back and pushed us forward, united and strong. No organization demonstrates the resilience that defines America like our military branches, which have been called upon time and again to enshrine that resilient spirit and protect our nation into the future. I urge every person watching today to remember the purpose for the break we receive from our normal lives every November 11th. Without the resilience, dedication, and strength of our veterans, the United States would likely have succumbed to the forces in its history that have sought to undermine it. Please take the time to thank a veteran and remember the example they set each and every day as we all push through our collective struggles together and with resilience. Today, we have invited a guest speaker to address you. He's a coach, he's a mentor, he's a valued member of our community, and more importantly for speaking today, he's an honored veteran. Coach Bill Edson served 23 years in the United States Army as a member of the active duty, Army Reserves, and the Army National Guard. He has earned many awards and commendations with his career commitment to the Army's medical mission. Prior to his retirement in 2007, Bill served a 22-month mobilization that included a combat tour in the war-torn city of Ramadi, Iraq. His actions in joint operations with the United States Marine Corps were rewarded with the presentation of the Bronze Star Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Combat Medical Badge, and 2 Navy Unit Commendation Medals. Saying first thank you to Coach Edson for his service to our country and his continuing service to our community, I would now like to call up Coach Bill Edson as our guest speaker today.
Thank you very much for having me here. First, I'd like to say thank you to all those who have served. Gentlemen, thank you for your service, and all the other millions of veterans who have served. I was asked to come and speak about empowered resilience today. And I thought about that, wondered what I would say, thinking about why we need to be resilient, to overcome our challenges, to overcome hardship, to overcome some sort of barrier that stands between us, perhaps happiness or stability. And I can't help but think that we're in an unprecedented time of hardship, divide, separation. Sometimes this is mandated, sometimes this is just something that's going on in our life. Whatever the case, what do we do when we come up against these hardships and these challenges in our life? Well, I think we just step into it and we lean up against those times. So we basically have two choices. We can stand back and wait and hope things go away, or we can act on it and try to make things better. So let me share a story with you that may illustrate this in a more vivid way. In May in 2006, I found myself in the living room of the Abdallah family. Now, their home was in the middle of the city of Ramadi in Iraq. At the time, U.S. News and World Report described Ramadi as the most dangerous place on the planet. I was there to take care of Hadaya Abdallah. She was a 31-year-old mother of the Abdallah family. As a U.S. Army combat medic, it was my job to take care of U.S. troops, ill or injured. It was also my job to take care of any of our allied troops, even our enemy, and civilians that were injured during combat operations. Well, Hadaya Abdallah was one of those civilians. She was caught in the crossfire of a gun battle at a checkpoint, and she was significantly injured. She lost her right arm as a traumatic amputation at her shoulder. She had suffered several severe internal injuries to her organs, and her right femur was shattered. Well, fortunately, she was brought to an Army field hospital where she had surgery and she survived. But unfortunately, a couple of days later, her husband, under the pressure of the insurgency, removed her from the care of that hospital and brought her to her home in Ramadi, where she laid in a small bed in the corner of her living room. When this came to our attention, I had two choices. I was the leader of the medical section for our battalion, in care of over 900 soldiers, and those who were within our fighting sectors that we were assigned. We had two choices: sit back and do the easy thing, or do the hard thing, weigh into it, step into it, and go take care of this woman as we were obligated to do. During that time, the protocol was simply to drop off a canvas bag of cash to say, we're sorry for your troubles, and that's how we would reconcile. Or we could assume the responsibility of the challenge and the hardship that would present us in order to take care and fulfill our duties to this family. The other thing to note is that this house located in Ramadi was in the stronghold of the terrorist insurgency, at the time Al-Qaeda in Iraq, also known better today as ISIS. For the next 3 months, I led a medical covert mission into the hard areas of this insurgent stronghold to take care of Hidayah. We would sneak in under the cover of darkness against the walls of the narrow alleys and come around the corner with my infantry comrades. And as they would sweep out and search other houses, I could then slip through the gates of the Abdallah house and go inside undetected by the enemies as they were distracted by the other activity. I would sometimes bring specialists with me, nutritionists, doctors, surgeons, and physical therapists. See, an important thing to remember about taking care of this woman was her missing arm, because in the culture of the Muslim people, the right arm, the right hand, is the sacred hand. Anything sacred, clean, or noble must be done with the right hand. Without a right hand, not to mention a right arm, Hidayah's life could be seen as disposable, especially by the insurgency. After visiting the house on several occasions, it became very clear to me that this was more about saving this woman's life than it was, as much as it was to preserve her family. As I'd enter the house in the middle of the night and lift up my night vision goggles, my world went from this green vision, this green atmosphere, to a dimly lit living room where I could see Hidayah in the corner on the small bed. After weeks of taking care of her, she began to recover. And this one day in May, as I entered, I went over to her, and she was mostly recovered. She was even walking a little bit. So we took the opportunity to sit next to each other and talk about our journey that we've been together these last 3 months. The physical therapist that visited us with me that one day, knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody else back in the States, and said, you know, if we get some good measurements, we could probably get her an arm. And so that day, I was so happy to tell Hidayah that the next time we came, we were bringing her prosthetic arm. And even though artificial, having an arm and a right hand could validate her. So as we talked about our families and the differences of our faith, and she had hoped that someday I could come back and visit them, when the light of peace could shine over the darkness of war, I said, we're coming again, and I'm bringing your arm. She said, no, you can't come back. I thought maybe she misunderstood the interpreter, so I said it again, we're coming back, and we're bringing your arm. This is really exciting. She said, La, no, you can't come back. It has come to our attention that the insurgents have discovered what you've been doing. They are laying a trap for you. They plan on capturing you and killing you. She said to me as she looked in my eyes and with her left hand held my hand, she said, you saved my life. Now allow me to save yours. Now, what does this have to do with empowering resilience and overcoming barriers? Well, I think one of the big barriers that we have today is a lack of trust. And I think just doing the right thing can overcome and fill that gap. Establishing human relations that are genuine and that really matter can make a huge difference. Because beyond her saving my life and that of the other soldiers with me, the relationship that we created over those 3 months established a peace and a sense of community and trust between the Americans who were there and the community that was being oppressed, to the point where they pushed back. And what was once the most dangerous city on the planet became the first city to regain their independence and bring peace to that same community. So what I'm urging us to do is, no matter what the challenge is in front of you, no matter how hard it seems, no matter how dark it feels, to step into it. Sometimes that's doing the simple thing of doing the right thing. Create relationships, rebuild relationships that have been separated from the divides that we now feel. And with that, some incredible things will happen as you come back together. So as I often tell my athletes, keep going. Keep going. Keep going forward. And from that, you will find the resilience and the results that will overcome any challenge that you can stand to. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for sharing such a courageous journey of resilience. Now we would like to honor and acknowledge our school personnel who are veterans and the enlisted Conant High School graduates. School personnel, Mr. Tom Meehan, United States Army. Mr. Tim Weston, United States Army. Thank you for your service. Class of 2016, David Collum, United States Marine Corps. Kyle Dupuy, United States Marine Corps. Tobias Dupuy, United States Marine Corps. Brett Champney, United States Army. Javen Goddard, United States Army. Garrett Mackey, United States Army. And Cordell Wright, United States Army. For the class of 2017, Brian Rogers, United States Air Force. Class of 2018, Taylor Banish, United States Air Force. Sean Carey, United States Army. Kaylee Lynn LeBlanc, National Guard. Christopher Soper, United States Marine Corps. For the class of 2019, Hunter DeVoe, United States Air Force. Kyle Gallagher, United States Air Force. Isabella Mormondo, United States Air Force. Jack Taylor, United States Navy. For the class of 2020, Noah Aruda, United States Marine Corps. Daniel Bryant, United States Marine Corps. Liam Smith, United States Marine Corps. Jameson Woodward, United States Marine Corps. Mason Bernia, United States Army. Alexis Brown, United States Air Force. And Aiden Coleman, United States Air Force. Thank you to all those that were mentioned for your service. And as far as this year, class of 2021, this year's seniors, who have met with a recruiter and have committed to enlisting, they are the following: Nico Duchesneau, United States Marine Corps. Demian Smith, United States Marine Corps. Ethan Weinhold, United States Marine Corps. Benjamin Hampson, United States Navy. Jared O'Neill, United States Air Force. We'd also like to officially thank the Rindge Veterans Association Color Guard. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your military service.
I just want to take a moment once again and ask everyone to reflect on the long list that Mrs. Duran just read of members of our own school community who have chosen to serve their country, to serve the United States of America, to take a pathway that few choose, but that is essential so that others may choose. And I think that I speak on behalf of all of us by saying how proud we are to have so many Conant graduates and Conant staff members who have chosen the path of service. So I want to take a moment in reflection and thanks just to appreciate those who have given of themselves and served our country, and to honor our veterans. So we'll take one moment here for a moment of reflection and gratitude. Once again, please take the time tomorrow to say thank you to those who have served and to remember the sacrifices of our veterans in terms of their time and commitment to our country, and certainly to those who have given of themselves for our country's safety and success. At this time, I'd like everyone to rise while the color guard departs, and to say thank you once again for your time and your service. Thank you once again as well to Coach Edson for a wonderful speech today and for sharing his experiences and for his service to both our country and our community. And thank you to everyone here for your focus and attention. This concludes our assembly. Have a great rest of your day.